everybody, Ellen here. Today I come to you guys with a different type of video because I haven't done this before, which I really should have because maybe it would have pushed me. So today we're going to talk about all the books that I have started reading but have not yet finished. So this is going to be sort of a go through my TBR pile of shame. And there's a lot, I tell you. I mean, I knew there was a lot of books, but it's more than I thought, honestly. And yeah, I'm just going to tell you a bit shortly what they're about and also why I haven't finished them yet. And some of these I've started reading years ago. So, you know, shame. So with one of the new ones. So this is Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. This is the play, of course. This is the Pelican Shakespeare edition. I started reading this 2-3 weeks ago and then I put it down. I managed to get through like the introduction and theatrical world and everything like that, and to page 8 of the actual play. And yeah, I put it down because I picked something else up instead. But yeah, I really do want to continue on with this one because, well, I have technically like 2 editions of this now. Another one which is a long time coming is the William Shakespeare the complete works of William Shakespeare. This is the Knickerbocker version. I started reading the first play in here called King Henry VI Part 1. And I literally read like the introduction and then like 2 pages of the actual play. And it was such a long time ago I read this that I might have to reread those 2 pages, or actually I will have to. But yeah, this is the way it is for a lot of stuff. I just read a couple of pages, realize that I'm not really in the mood for this right now, pick it up later, and then I just never do. So, you know, Shakespeare is kicking my ass. I've read Macbeth twice, so I'm not like completely ashamed, just 99%. I have more classics. So this is Beauty and the Beast and Other Classic Fairy Tales. And I started reading Beauty and the Beast in this one, and I mean, the stories ain't very long at all. Like, Beauty and the Beast is like 16 pages, and I managed to get to page 4. Because apparently I wanted to read something else. We all know what Beauty and the Beast is about, but yeah, shameful. But this is so beautiful, and I just want to read all the stories in here so that I can put it on my shelf. Because yes, I'm that girl. Then we have The Night Flyers by George R.R. Martin. This was actually a review book that I got from the publisher called Bookmark Vlog, and they even sent this little note with it. And I ended up reading 11 pages, which is not that much because it starts on page 7 and there's like pictures in it. So I read technically I've read like 3 pages if you count the text, and god, it's getting warm, you know. So yeah, I just wasn't meshing with the writing style as of that. I mean, I have read the entire The Song of Ice and Fire series, meaning the Game of Thrones series, all the books that are out, but I just wasn't feeling it at the time, so I just didn't continue on with it, and it was kind of a little bit unclear. But this is sort of sci-fi inspired, and there's like some very spooky hologram that comes through when the crew is in like their spaceship and everything like that, and you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on and shit. And it sounds really interesting, but just wasn't feeling it at the time. And then we have The Last Namsara by Kristen Cicarelli. I started reading this, I want to say earlier this year, but I'm not sure. But I've had this since it came out, which was a couple of years ago. This came out in 2017, so I've had this for 4 years and I started reading it this year, and I just didn't end up finishing it. I'm on page 14, chapter 2, and I was liking what I read so far. I mean, there's dragons and the main character is sort of a dragon hunter, and it just sounds really cool. Definitely sounds like it's going to be up my alley. I just picked up something else instead, which is The Story of My Life. But I don't really do that much that way anymore, because now I usually just read the one book and then maybe an audiobook, but that's it. I have Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J. Maas, and I managed to get to chapter 6, which is page 62, and I don't really remember why I put it down because I started reading this a couple of years ago, but I mean, it's Catwoman, and you know, crime happening, but I just wasn't feeling it. I think that I didn't really mesh with the main character that much, but I don't really remember. But yeah, I got quite far in this one, to be honest. Now we have the Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is a behemoth. I think you all know why I put it down, but this is like 830 pages. This could easily have been 2 books. So I managed to get to page 10 just before chapter 2 started, and I wasn't feeling it at the time, and I thought like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up this really big book and I'm gonna read it, but like, I mean, it scares me, so I put it down again. We have Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. You know who I mean. This is the first book in the Outlander series. I picked this up while on vacation in 2017, came home from vacation, didn't continue on with it. So I basically got to like 252 pages originally at vacation, and then earlier this year I read another 50 pages because, well, I figured I'll continue on with it. So now I'm on page 307, and then I put it down again. And I mean, this is sort of a historical romance with definitely a lot of other elements into it as well. And I am really enjoying it. I just don't know why I can't continue reading it, because at this point, there's like, what, 500 pages left. I read 300 pages in it and I still haven't finished it. Like, what's wrong with me? Really need to go on this. I know I have a couple of pages that fell through the sort of try chapter tag but did not get chosen thing, which is not good, let me tell you. But this is A Crown for Cold Silver by Alex Marshall. This is the first book in a series, The Crimson Empire. I read the first chapter of this, so technically I'm going to start chapter 2. I'm on page 16. Didn't really mesh with the writing style, and at the time I was more interested in the other 2 books, but it felt sort of dry. But I mean, 16 pages, like, I mean, come on, that's nothing. Now we have another one with try a chapter tag, but this is Founder Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. Brandon Sanderson has blurbed it. I love Brandon Sanderson, obviously, since I have almost 2 shelves of his books. But I read the first chapter in this for a try a chapter tag, so I'm on page 12. I was really enjoying it. I mean, it was about a girl trying to like put a tracker or something on her cart, and to do that to be able to follow them to a boat to steal something. And it sounds really interesting. I've heard great things about it, so I really should get on to it. And then we have Monster i Terapi by Jenny Jagerfeld and Mats Strandberg. Mats Strandberg is one of the only Swedish authors I actually buy books from. He's like one of the 3 I actually buy stuff from. And this is a co-written book, and this is basically about a psychologist having, like, you know, different type of historical sort of characters and try to evaluate them. So we have Dr. Jekyll, Carmilla, Frankenstein's monster, and Dorian Gray, but it's sort of a new therapy kind of thing. And I was enjoying it. I mean, it's mostly written in like dialogues and like sessions and sort of these you know, notes from the psychologist. So I managed to get to page 20, and then I just never finished it. This is a big shame in my life. We have Brännmärkt by Lisette Edfeldt, also a book that was from Try Chapter Tag, and I think I actually chose this one, but I still didn't continue on finishing it. What's wrong with me? But this is also a review book, oopsie, that I got from Louise Peckelin vlog. My friend Jamie read this one, she absolutely loved it, and I was really enjoying it. What I read the first 16 pages, so I'm supposed to start chapter 2. Was really enjoying it, I just didn't continue on with it. Why, I do not know. Then we have another Try Chapter Tag book. Really should stop doing this, right? This is Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray. I don't remember what it's about whatsoever, but I did read the first chapter, so I'm supposed to start chapter 2 on page 13. I have this behemoth. So this is Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. This is supposed to be 300 years before A Game of Thrones dragons ruled Westeros. And I picked it up. It sounds really interesting. It's beautiful and pages. And I'm on page 6. And it was just not written the way I thought it was going to be. Like, instead of being sort of a novel kind of written book, it's more of a historical book, just going through facts and historical things. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. But I do want to read this at some point, because I really do like Game of Thrones or the Song of Ice and Fire series. We finally come to the last book, and this is The Little Mermaid and Other Fairy Tales by Hans Christian Andersen. beautiful book, Barnes & Noble leatherbound collection, and I managed to get 16 pages through, I want to say, Little Mermaid, and this is also a very short story, 33 pages, so basically I got halfway through the story and I didn't finish it, so I really need to get back on my classics, that's for sure.